Welcome to this extraordinary press conference today. We'll now take questions, and if you could direct your question to a specific person, that would be helpful. Questions? Yes.
For Mr. McKeon, if you would, and step us in. Do you think a lot of people who volunteered and contributed to the Count My Vote initiative are going to feel let down by this deal that was made essentially without consulting them?
We have had a couple of phone calls. We've issued statements to those folks to express our appreciation. Frankly, there are some people who are disappointed. I suspect there are people disappointed on both sides of this issue, and that's why I suggest that once people get acclimated to this, when they assimilate what's in the bill, when they recognize that it includes openness in the process, that it includes a direct primary while retaining all the vestiges of the caucus system, there's a lot for everybody to appreciate. But it's a complicated bill. It's not easy. I think that as I've suggested earlier, it's really a quite elegant solution. And we will do everything we can to reach out to those who have worked with us, who have volunteered their time and energy to try and offer explanation and answer their questions. We've done so far, and we'll continue to do that.
Mr. McKeon, on the matter of openness, there have been a lot of people expressing their views online that are suggesting this has been a backroom deal because it hasn't been open to them to view or see. What is your response to that?
You know, and I'll let Senator Bramble and others respond as well, because I think this is an important question. You know, we had as much transparency as we were able to have under the circumstance, but it was a group of people that sat down and began to negotiate what I think was this elegant solution. We navigated our way through a lot of very difficult component pieces, and as we did that navigation, we began to recognize that we were all consistent on one issue, and that was voter participation. As we began to articulate this, and as we began to examine that from a standpoint of principle, we began to recognize that we had a lot in common. And as that began to evolve, this legislation came together. Now, I think any time you deal with smaller groups of people, you run the threat of people feeling excluded and non-transparent, but we've done the best we can, and we will reach out actively to those people who have been supportive to us. And I'd invite Senator Bramble or Representative McKay to respond to that as well.
Thank you, Rich. We first met with Count My Vote, I did personally, with many of the principals as early as October, and outlined a proposal. And to their credit, they came to the table and we began negotiations. This bill, in terms of transparency from a legislative point of view, it was first written about in the media as early as October, early November. There were several stories in the media in December, January. The bill was introduced the first week of the legislative session publicly, and it was assigned to the committee that I chair. It was held in that committee for 2 weeks before it was put out for a hearing so that the public would have ample opportunity to read that bill and to come forward in the very public, very transparent process of the public hearings at the legislature. This compromise, the reason for holding the press conference today, the bill is before the legislature tomorrow, and we wanted the public to be aware, and if they would like to come and voice their opinion, that there'd be plenty of opportunity in that committee hearing tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And so from the legislative perspective, we have, and I believe Count My Vote has also been engaged in as much public discourse as possible, given the nature of making laws. And the nature of making laws are, when you have an initiative, citizens can sign that petition, but the language of that petition can't be amended, it can't be changed. In the legislature, while we have the committee process and we can offer amendments, and we have 7 different times a bill has to be debated before it passes to the governor's desk, we stand accountable every 2 or 4 years, depending on the office that we hold. And so between those two processes, we believe that this has been as transparent and open as is humanly possible.